We haven't done this case in a while. It's the Bryan Kohberger case, the Idaho student murders. You guys see this link that we are sharing. So Bryan Kohberger pleaded not guilty just a week ago, and of course he's guilty. We all know it. Um, so when it was time for him to um, plead guilty or not guilty, he stood silent. What that means is the judge he effectively pleads not guilty. So the judge entered not guilty pleas in Bryan Kohberger's on Bryan Kohberger's behalf for one count of burglary and four counts of first degree murder of Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. You know that he went into that home in Moscow, Idaho, in Latell County, and he murdered all four students, stabbed them to death in their off-campus home. There's been a lot of problems with their roommates. I know we couldn't report it at the time; we were kind of busy. Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk. Dylan Mortensen didn't want to testify on behalf of the defense because the defense wanted her to testify in a preliminary hearing, which is very odd, and that's not really done. But she agreed to testify because she has information, and there are holes that the defense could poke in this case. And we can go over that, but let's go, like, for example, is it really him? It was dark. She didn't really see his face. She saw the bushy eyebrows. Was it that? So let's take a look at this. He pleaded not guilty. Family members were there. Let's go.
6 months after police say he stabbed 4 University of Idaho students to death, Bryan Kohberger appeared in a Latell County courtroom, wearing an orange jumpsuit on his thin frame and shackles on his feet.
Okay, we are now on the record in state of
So there he is in the courtroom, short 15-minute hearing.
As the judge read the names of the victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, some family members there grew emotional, wiping tears from their eyes. Kohberger's arraignment comes just 1 week after a grand jury formally indicted him on the 5 charges he already faced. Community members on the grand jury believed prosecutors showed enough evidence to move forward with the case and bring it in front of a district court judge. Judge John Judge read Kohberger his rights and explained the first-degree murder charges he faces carry a penalty of life in prison or death. The judge then asked if Kohberger was ready to plead.
Do you understand the charge in count 5, murder in the first degree? Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Now that he did that 5 times. 4 out of the charges were for the murders and 1 for the burglary. So 5 times he did that. He said yes to all answers. Do you understand the penalty? Do you understand all of that? So, and do you understand the charges? So the grand jury did indict him. They did try and say, hey, the defense was trying to not bring it, but there you go. And so here we go.
Hey, Ms. Taylor, is Mr. Kohberger prepared to plead to these charges?
Your Honor, we will be standing silent.
And because Mr. Kohberger is standing silent, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge.
Former Ada County Chief Deputy Prosecutor Gene Fisher told me standing silent doesn't hurt the defendant. Quote, if anything, standing silent could help the defense if they intended to file a motion of Kohberger's competency. They wouldn't want him assisting the court by answering legal questions and then turn around and file a motion saying he's not presently competent to stand trial.
Now, I don't really think that the incompetency and the mental unwellness, unfit, insanity argument is going to work. I mean, he is insane. Absolutely, I agree with that. But in that, the argument I would poke in that is, okay, the hole I would poke in that argument is, I guess I would say, sorry about that. Okay, but this guy literally answered all of the judge's questions all 5 times. He asked him, do you understand the charges and what they mean and what they are and what they entail? And do you understand that the penalty for all those 5 charges is life or death? He said yes to all of them. He's been able to answer both judges, the first judge, the county judge, and the district judge. This one, John Judge, which is so funny that's his name. But again, he seems competent to me. So I think that, yeah, he doesn't want to say, oh, yeah, I plead not guilty, because then it would present the fact that, oh, no, he is competent. He knew what he was pleading. So, okay, I can see that. But he's still standing silent. He understands what his attorneys are saying, so he is mentally well. That's the argument I would make. So it can still work. It can still backfire on them.
The state has 60 days now to decide whether they plan to seek the death penalty. The judge set Kohberger's trial for October 2nd, giving both sides 5 months to prepare their cases.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
It's expected to last 6 weeks. That timeline could always change between now and then. 2 other hearings happened after the arraignment, one regarding the media and Gonsalves family's fight against the gag order in this case.
There's a lot of potential irreparable harm from media that is affecting a fair trial.
The third hearing Monday morning, setting a date for arguments over evidence.
Now, before I let that go in, he's thinking, oh, irreparable harm. Oh my God. The irreparable harm that may be created from the media is broadcasting the trial. The media is telling you what's going on in this trial. You're getting to see what's going on in the courtroom. And the defense just doesn't want you to see that because they don't want you to see he's guilty.
Kaylee's family shared a statement with me saying it's important we keep the victims' memories alive. They're grateful for the grand jury indictment, but are disappointed the judicial process hasn't been more efficient in changing the gag order. This weekend, Madison's dad shared with NBC how special his daughter was.
I want people to remember Maddie as just being a loving, caring, just beautiful person who everybody just misses so much, and we're just all so proud of. And this has been the most difficult thing that any of us will ever go through, and it's just important to stay close to your loved ones and your family in times like this, I would say. I mean, a lot of us are going to counseling. I've gone to counseling, and it's helped a lot, just being able to talk about things and remember her in the best way that we can and keep her memory alive.
I just feel for the dad. I can't imagine how he's feeling right now.
Yeah, the victims' family and friends saying they want the victims in this case to be remembered and less of the attention being focused on the defendant. Back here in Moscow,
agree
not
with
a lot
that.
of students here as school got out a little more than a week ago. Last Saturday, all 4 victims in these stabbings were honored with posthumous degrees during the spring commencement. By the way, it is possible that Bryan Kohberger's trial moves out of Latah County and down to Ada County, or another county in Idaho, where there's a better chance at finding a fair and impartial jury. And the Gonsalves family said it really well today, Doug. They said today is just the beginning of a long journey for all the families involved in this tragedy.
No doubt about that. And Morgan, these decisions will play out over the course of like several hearings leading up to that October date, right?
That's right. There's going to be hearings on motions to compel discovery. Again, it's possible that the defense files that notice of intent to seek the death penalty. It's possible that Kohberger at any point could change his plea. So really, there's a lot that we don't know that's going to come out between now and October. And again, as I mentioned in my story, it's possible that that October trial date even gets pushed back a little bit further too. But we will be staying posted on all the documents that are filed, the motions, the orders, as well as any hearings that are set here in Latah County between now and then.
Yeah, he's not changing his plea. He's not going to change. He's going to go, I'm not guilty until he's convicted. I think he should be. I think he will be convicted. I'm going to say it now. I hope he's convicted. And even when he's convicted, I'm not guilty. And he's going to get the death penalty. I'm not guilty. He's going to lose the appeals. I'm not guilty. He's going to be in the execution chamber. I'm not guilty. He's going to be dead going, I'm not guilty. So, yeah, no, he's definitely guilty. You could tell. It's easy. But there are a lot of holes in this case. And look, I mean, if they do move it out of the county, well, okay, they move it out of the county. Of course, the defense is going to want that because of the fact that, well, look, we want it to be fair. We want him to have a fair, impartial jury that isn't as highly affected by this case. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens, and we'll definitely keep you up to date. We have more videos coming out on this case.